Blog Talk Radio.
Here on June 8th, 2016. I want to tell you that I went to a couple of weddings this past weekend. It is June, and I learned something at those parties about networking that I want to share with you today. I have read again and again in many articles that if you don't have something to say at a party, you should not worry about it. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is ask a simple question and listen. Apparently, people like to talk about themselves so much that once you give them the go-ahead, you are home free. They will think you are a fantastic conversationalist, even if you don't say a word. Well, I got something to tell you about that. It isn't true. It just is not true. Sometimes, yes, sometimes you will run into someone who likes to tell you about all the fantastic things they're doing, but most of the time, the other person will answer your question and stop talking. They'll stop. And then if you want to keep them talking, you have to ask another question and another question. And after a bit of that, you're going to start feeling kind of weird because although the networking coaches, they tell you to pretend that you're a journalist who is interviewing everybody at the party, you are not a journalist who is interviewing everybody at the party. You're just some dope who's asking a lot of questions. Now, there's another gambit. You can throw out a conversational gambit if you don't know what I'm talking about. You can throw out, a lot of news items like, did you hear about that Japanese kid who got lost in the woods for 6 days? But unless someone picks up on it, you're going nowhere. I speak from experience. Now, I was at one wedding from about 2:30 in the afternoon until midnight, and I had one really good conversation. We were at this big event center in the middle of the countryside, north of the city, and so at nighttime I went out for a stroll, and these guys were asking everybody who was passing by if somebody had Tylenol. Well, just by coincidence, I often carry some ibuprofen with me, so I offered the guy a couple, and then one of them said, I hear you're a recruiter. And then he said his friend, the guy with the headache, wanted to find a new job. And we had a long and interesting conversation about careers. You know why? Because all of us wanted to talk, and all of us had something to say. So I think that conversational success is a fluke. If you happen to find someone who wants to talk and has something to talk about, and it's a topic that you know something about too, well, then you're rolling. But if not, you're not. Let's hope our guest has something to say on Jerry. Jerry, let's listen.
This is the Recruiting Animal for letting me be a part of this international show. Thank you.
Yeah, it is international. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. There's a couple of things I want to. That was a good shout. Okay, classic. It wasn't the tape, everybody. That was really him.
I changed it up a little bit. I practice it, and I changed it up just a little. You don't want to hear about it, do you?
Not really. Okay, I told you I liked it already.
Okay,
you have to know. You didn't change it. It was classic. Now, look, I want to make two announcements before the show starts. Number one, I listened to an interview with today's guest, and on another show, and after everything he said, the host of the show said, brilliant, brilliant. Just like Hugh Grant in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Did you see that, Jer?
No, I don't watch British movies.
That's an old movie, okay? And
I did used to watch Benny Hill.
Okay, I was thinking maybe we should say brilliant, brilliant, too. Maybe we should do that, okay?
That's the Guinness beer commercial.
Okay. I also see people on Twitter saying, when is the show going to start already? You know, we're 10 or 15 minutes in. Well, when's the show going to start? Well, listen, you guys, if you don't like the structure of the show, why don't you just listen to the recording? Then you can fast forward, okay? Does that solve your problem? Mm-hmm. Stephen Ward, our guest for today, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Congratulations.
I thought this guy was British.
Yeah, he is British. Listen,
doesn't sound like it to me.
What does he sound like to you?
A guy that moved there from here.
Okay, look, Steve, are you ready with the song? I posted the song. Are you ready?
You did. You did post
Do you know the words?
Nope.
Do you know the words?
Nope. Have I got to sing?
Okay, yeah, we're going to sing. You know what? You've never listened to the show, have you? Not once.
Yes.
And you know what?
Yes. Once.
Once. Oh, yeah, okay.
You say that as if we're supposed to be surprised.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever heard this show, dude.
Okay, look, we have to get over this fast, okay? So you just repeat these words after me, but a little louder than you're talking, okay?
Okay.
If you ever see me coming and you know who I am, say that.
If you ever see me coming and you know who I am.
Don't you breathe it to nobody because you know I'm on the lam. Go ahead, say that.
Don't bring it to nobody because you know I'm on the lam?
Don't breathe it to nobody because you know I'm on the lam. Okay, now we're going to sing it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. If you ever see me coming, Steve, and if you know who I am, Steve, don't you breathe it to nobody, 'cause you know I'm on the lam.
Oh, that song.
Wanted man in California. Come on, wanted man in Buffalo. Wanted man in Kansas City. Come on, Steve. Wanted man in Ohio. You know what? An idiot could sing that song, okay? There's not much to it.
The words.
I think an idiot just did.
Yeah.
Bam!
Now, Bill Boorman says that Steve Ward, W-A-R-D, is one of a rare breed of agency recruiters. This is important. Agency, not corporate. Agency recruiters who understands social recruiting and social media as more than just a job posting avenue, okay? What a build-up from Bill Boorman, who's now famous. You recruit for the digital media job market. Is that right, Steve?
That's right. So when Bill made that quote, I was still an agency recruiter. I still do a little bit of agency recruiting, but I also do in-house stuff as well now.
Okay, but do you ever talk above a whisper? I mean, is anybody else having trouble hearing this guy?
He sounds fine. He sounds great. I wouldn't say the thing. Yeah.
Maureen, can you hear him?
You can hear me?
I can hear him.
Sleepy.
Hello, Maureen.
It's a little low. Hi, Steve.
It's a little low. That means it's low. Okay, speak up. Okay.
All right.
You know what? Let's do it right there. You took a shot at Maureen on your LinkedIn article. Yeah. Yeah. You said what's needed.
Pick a fight.
You said
between
no. I'll give you a break, Maureen. I can pass it over. But you said what's needed is a new breed of sorcerer. Okay? The new breed of sorcerer needs a different kind of charm from those old phone sorcerers. He or she needs the ability to switch from phone communication to a convincing elevator pitch over email and private messaging. Should we leave that for later?
Wait a minute. We have to go back to the definition of phone sorcerer if we're going to have this discussion. And I know Jerry doesn't want to do that. So, do we want to have this discussion?
Let's talk about
breed of recruiter, not a new breed of saucer.
Okay, you know what? I think it's Kathy Manis talking in the background. I can't hear her, okay? I just know someone's talking. Okay, look, here's what you said.
I'm saying he would have pulled the plug on me in 3 weeks. I mean, let's just replace her, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I can barely hear you, Kathy. I can't hear you. I can barely hear the guy. Let me just move forward, okay? Here's what the goal of social recruiting is, according to our guest. Getting 100 people talking about you because of the positive effect you have on their market is more valuable than talking to 5 of those people through cold calls, right? cold calls alone are irritating, but if you make your cold calls on the back of a social recruiting campaign, the cold call is going to work. Am I right? Is that what you believe, Stephen Ward?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because it takes away the coldness of the call naturally. So all of a sudden, it helps to be known when you make that call. It's not so cold anymore, is it? I mean, it's much more fun making calls to people who know who you are than making calls to people who don't know who you are.
So now what you have to tell us, and you're talking about
that's recruiting then, though. See, now we're talking about recruiting. So,
yeah,
sourcers don't call anybody.
That's not true.
Yeah, you're right. We're talking about recruiting now, but sources do call people now. Jerry, get with it.
They only call people to gather names. Once you're making a presentation to somebody, hey.
See, now we're off the rails.
Once you're recruiting somebody, you're not a sourcer anymore.
Definition of sourcing.
Yeah, you know what? We're off the rails because Jerry fell asleep and he woke up, at the wrong time. Okay, look, just let me lead the show for a second, Jerry. Then we'll bring you in. Okay, so what you're saying is create a warm market by making yourself a popular quantity in your market via social recruiting. That's easier said than done. So we're talking about an agency. Tell us how an agency of 5 people is going to do that.
Well, it starts with having a bunch of people who work in that agency who get what it is you're recruiting for. So you need people who get the market. So I didn't recruit recruiters. I recruited people who were experts in the market that we recruited in. Now, that gave them credibility and value in the marketplace in which they operate. Their ability
First of all, I can't hear you. I'm going to have to go through this, and amplify everything you say so the recording is okay. Secondly, I don't understand what you're saying. What are you saying? That you have to write articles and stuff about the market you're recruiting in? Is that what you're saying?
Not that alone. No. You've got to be part of the conversation. I mean, I know that sounds a very fluffy kind of phrase, but the reality is if your industry is talking, if there are people out there talking and they're communicating about the new stuff that's going on in the industry, what's hot, what's not hot, who's out there, who the key people are, and you are part of that conversation. If you're in that room, you're part of the mix, then you're more noticeable than the guy standing on the outside because nobody let you in because you're trying to do it from a cold approach and nobody gave you an invite. So the point is to get in amongst the mix of the people who matter within the industry you're in, because that then has a positive effect on the people around you. You've got to be a leader, a player in the industry as a recruiter, rather than being somebody tagging on the outside, hoping you can pick up the scraps through sales calls.
So you're not talking about – we're going to have to go to a real example here. Where are you going to join the conversation? Give me a real example from your own history, if possible.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because it is. It's got to go online. Hey, look, it could be on Twitter. It probably, in my cases, it did start out on Twitter. But you've got to find the subject areas. You've got to find the people. You have to work out who the people are. So the sourcing bit, and this is one of the things I was saying in that blog that we were referring to, where apparently I attacked Maureen. But the point is that the purpose of the sourcer, the finder, and we had a sourcer, is to go and find the people who matter. Now, there's 2 approaches you can go. You can then go straight to call that person. That's fine. That works as well. But the point is, what we were looking at is once we've identified and sourced who these people are, then we work out where are they? Where do they exist? Where do they operate? Where do they feel at their most optimum prime? Where can we catch them in the position that makes them happy to find us? So, hey, look, I'll go back to a period where I did quite a lot of work recruiting for people in the TV industry.
The what industry?
The TV industry, the broadcasting industry, when social media got heavily involved in
television.
Huh? Yeah, it's
television.
The way that television and social media collide through advertising and all that kind of stuff became a big thing about 3-4 years ago. And
What titles?
Job titles.
Yeah.
What job titles?
Yes.
What kind of job titles were you recruiting for? I don't know what television is. I don't know anything about that market. You tell us.
Audience engagement people, audience engagement managers, social media managers, digital media producers, content producers, etc., etc. So the people who take TV content from the TV and get it out through social channels to increase the awareness of what's going on with those TV shows, gets people talking about them, so that they're buzzing by the time the next program comes around the following week. Now that's become a big thing. plus off the back of that, the advertising industry and how they get involved with that as well. So it became a big area. So we had to work out who's key in this market, who are the real players in the market. Not necessarily because they're the ones we're going to hire for jobs, because they probably weren't in that situation, but who do people listen to, and how do we get on the same page as those? So we worked out where these people go. We got both online and offline, and the point is that they communicate about stuff online, but actually the fallacy of the social media stuff is we think we do everything online and everything is interpreted online and through words online. It's not. You identify people out there to go and find out where the hell they go offline. So I can do the eyeballing thing. I can do like your wedding chat type stuff to those kind of guys and get involved in the conversation about what they're talking about. So, and from that, naturally, you would candidate finding was easy in those kind of worlds. Not one networking event would go by in that industry off the back of social media and some offline networking without walking away with 5 people who wanted a new job. Just went without it. Just went.
Okay. So 10 minutes ago, I asked you for a real-life example, and you haven't given us one yet. You've given us the background. Now we're going to talk about a real-life example.
All right.
So how did you identify these real people, okay?
All
the key people, the players, the influencers.
Well, I'm going to identify them through, obviously through LinkedIn from a professional point of view. But the
How? Just searching out profiles or what?
No, keywords. The geek words. So you have to understand what the geek words are in the industry. So what is the hot thing they're talking about, and who is including that on their online profiles, and who is talking about it on Twitter. So you start to search for this stuff and find the people who are geeky enough to be sufficiently geeky about the subject that they still want to geekily talk about it on Twitter as well.
You're doing Boolean searches like everybody else.
You could go as far as saying it's Boolean searches. Sometimes it didn't even need to be as complex as Boolean searches. Sometimes it just needs...
Kathy, they call it social digital...
It's just...
What's it called now?
I don't know. What do you want to call it, Jerry?
I'm old school.
Don't let Jerry Jerry, I just want this guy to finish this story, and then we can...
Get there then, will ya?
So, yeah.
Well, he's done searches now for people in the industry.
And find out
he's followed them to Twitter, okay.
Then you get yourself...
Is that what you do? Follow them to Twitter?
Identify the
Where do you talk to them, Steve? Where do you talk to them?
You talk to them on Twitter, you talk to them on LinkedIn, and then you find out the places, the events we go to. So I'll use if I continue my social TV example, which I think I started about 10 minutes ago, I found the key 3 industry events that were happening around this subject area. And I bought my ticket, or I went along if it was a free, and I got involved. I was part of it. I'm part of their kind of journey. My job title within their environment is...
So now you're saying something different. You identified people on LinkedIn, and then you went to the associated trade shows or whatever and met people face-to-face there. Is that your primary technique? Is that it?
It's a technique. It's not enough. You've got to go. So from there onwards, once you've got to identify those people, you've got to keep going with those people. You've got to start. You've got to keep going. So that journey you're going on with people, because those 100 people I'm talking about, that you've got to grab the attention.
Okay, I'll let everybody else come in first. I want to ask when you get to the networking, the trade association, the show, the event, how do you meet these people once you're there?
We'd probably try to arrange that beforehand. I might see them.
What do you mean?
I find surprises. The point about this place is less about saying, right, there are 5 people I looked at and I'm going to go and find them in that place. The point is, if you're going to go to an event with 100 people in it, and on the basis of the fact that you knew 5 awesome people were going to be there, the chances are there's going to be another 40 awesome people there as well on the same page. So from a logical time management point of view, I've got the opportunity to communicate and connect and work with.
Steve, read my lips, okay? When you walk in the door at that place, how do you strike up these meaningful conversations and carry them on, and then move from one person to another so you get to those 40 people?
You just talk to people, right?
No, I don't know how to talk to people.
I mean, like, isn't that what we do?
I don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, I don't agree with your thing. I mean, I get your point what you were saying earlier about asking questions and things like that, and people having to ask questions. But no, actually, people are all there for the same reason. So I don't know, what's the barrier? I don't think there's a barrier there, is there? I think
you just got to be smooth and blend in, man.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a bill in that
guys like Steve and I can pull it off. I mean, we don't just think about, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? You just go, and it just happens, man.
You do, and it just happens.
Kathy Manis. Kathy Manis, go ahead.
What if you have, first of all, these positions could be all over the world or all over the country, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, what if you have a client who has an urgent need? I mean, do you have the time to find these events and cultivate these relationships, which I would think would take weeks, if not months, and then invest money into tickets and all of that?
Yeah. You're Maureen, your point is great. I mean, it's like you've got to have a multi-layered strategy. You can't. Hey, that beautiful long flow mix thing I've just talked about building a network, and sometimes those candidates don't come back to you for a year because that's the time when they need to move. But at the same time as well, of course, you've got to have a direct strategy as well. But I'd still say social is a great place to do it with people, because if a great candidate for a job is super happy on Twitter, and you can see that they're super happy, they are at home there, they live there, they post all sorts of crap about their football and their TV and their dogs and their cats and all that kind of stuff. If they're happy there, then that's a great place to communicate with them, because they're in a place where they feel at ease, they feel relaxed, they feel at home.
Where else you may want to go? Go on some of the football.
I still do that direct thing to them there.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I want to do an ad. Do I have to block everybody, or can people be
but
quiet?
Can I say one thing real quick? Mike A. Stringer would like to call in and be a part of our thriving community. But
Mike A. Stringer has to promise that he won't do what he did before.
Don't make me get into all that. Just open up his line.
Okay.
No, I won't.
This is a global show with global perspectives here.
Not with people who make remarks like him, okay?
Come on. Get past.
We got rules here, Jerry. I don't want to go through that again. I've done it.
Just open up his line, dude.
Nope.
Just open up his line.
What's his line? Every line is
I don't
open.
know, something New Jersey. Just
I don't know New Jersey.
201, 212,
now, look,
203.
More in another numbers.
I want to do my ad. I just need people to promise they're going to be quiet, or I'll block you off for 30 seconds, okay?
Promise or swear on a Bible?
Either one is fine, Promise is a little more diverse and inclusive. Okay, just be quiet, okay?
I promise.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Recruiting Animal here. I was at a party on Saturday night, and this guy introduced himself to me, and before I knew it, he was telling me about conversations he'd had with our former prime minister and several cabinet ministers, and you know what? Before you know it, I was feeling like he was a somebody, and I was a nobody, and I guess that's the point of name dropping. But you know what? At the party I went to the next night on Sunday, the absolute opposite happened. The guy I was talking to, he started telling me all about world politics, and then he said, you know what, just the other day, Martin Snyder told me. And I said, hey, Martin Snyder? Which Martin Snyder? And he said, the president of Main Sequence Technologies. They produce PC Recruiter. It's a recruiting software that's used by every kind of recruiting firm in the world. Corporate, executive, doesn't matter, staffing. So I said, you know what? You think you're a big shot, eh? Well, I know Martin Snyder, too, because he's the sponsor of the Recruiting Animal Show. And let me tell you, this time I felt like a somebody, and you can feel like a somebody, too. Just go to PCRecruiter.com and check out PC Recruiter. They make software for every kind of recruiting. Thank you. Okay, everybody, thanks. You stayed quiet for a few seconds. It's all done. Did somebody else want to say something, or should I pick a new topic?
Let Mike A. Stringer on.
Okay. Now, look, Steve Ward, are you still on the show?
Of course.
Okay. Cloud9 Rec is his Twitter handle. Cloud9 Rec, 9 written out, not the number like it should be. Cloud9 Rec. and he's got this crappy black and white photo that just looks like a blotch when you see it in the Twitter stream. This guy's a social media expert, okay? With a picture like that. Shame on you. Shame on you, okay?
He's blending in, dude.
No,
you don't understand any of this, animal.
Jerry, you're supposed to say brilliant, brilliant.
Blending in. God.
Okay, here's what Kathy said a minute ago. She raised an interesting point. The kind of recruiting that Stephen Ward is talking about is building a pipeline, building a bunch of contacts that you can use sometime in the future, or in order to get referrals. If you become a big name in the industry, everybody knows you. Oh, he's the guy who hangs around the bar at every trade show or party or something like that.
No, you don't want to be known as that guy. My sales have been cut in half the last 3 weeks. Trust me. You want to be the guy that hangs out, elsewhere.
It's not.
Okay, well, he's hanging around.
You know what? It's not that far wrong.
You know, the guy we met at the trade show, or the guy who's always on Twitter talking about our business. That's the guy. Go call him. That's what he wants.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, but he's not talking about using social recruiting to do an immediate job, to work a job right now, like Kathy was talking about.
Nobody is, man, because it doesn't work that way. Never has.
Okay, but not only that, Jerry, you have raised this issue in the past. You don't want to have a big media imprint, social media imprint, because you don't want a lot of pizza drivers calling you for jobs they're no good for. Okay? You don't want you don't want people bugging you all day. You want to be approaching the people who are good. You don't want to have the mass of people approaching you.
Because I'm real busy.
This is where the social media thing goes all wrong. Is we think it's just. We think this is where we just think it's a place where people just talk about a bunch of crap, and we always worry about all the rubbish that's out there. And there is a lot of rubbish out there, but you've got to do it properly. You've got to deal with the people you want to deal with, not deal with all the noisy, pointless bit. It has to be targeted. It's the same way that we've always done recruitment, and there's nothing new about this stuff. Like from a methodology point of view, it's the same stuff we've already done. There's no rocket science in it. It's just we're really lucky these days. 20 years ago when I started this, we didn't have all this stuff. Now we've got loads of that really difficult to find candidate. I can call them. I can do what Maureen does. But I could also Twitter them, and they might have a Pinterest page, and they might have a Facebook profile, and they've got a LinkedIn thing. I've got so many avenues now that I can make an impression on that person and get hold of them. It's just dead simple. It's like it's not. There's no rocket science.
It's not that simple. How do you identify them in a timely manner and get them engaged and present them to your hiring manager within a day or two?
But it depends on the management expectations of the job. But yeah, well, that happens too. You know, I mean, you still got to do the direct stuff. I mean, I'm not advocating that there's only one way and that's the only way. Of course, we all know there's multiple ways of doing this. The problem that the recruitment industry has as a whole is that it struggles to understand. I mean, as the person that was referring to earlier about the pipelining idea, we have a problem when we don't see immediate returns from something. We want to see immediate returns all the time. And actually, the reality of life is that some of the best things fall on our lap 2 years, 3 years after. I can think of a lady I supported right at the very early stages of me dealing with this industry. And she was just a blogger, but she was a very, very good blogger. And people listened to her, and she got a big reputation for just being somebody who was exploring this whole thing a lot. And I backed her, and we would catch up for coffee now and again. We do, and I'd back her with what she did, and she started backing me up with one. And I never got anything from that. I never expected or never requested anything from that woman for the first 3 or 4 years of our existence. 4 years afterwards, she became the senior digital director of a major organization here in London. And the first thing
I think you just turned off everybody listening to this show. I think you just turned off everybody listening to this show.
I'm not animal. No, he didn't.
This woman, you got one job from her.
You guys are so.
One job for you. Haven't listened to the story. You got to finish the story.
Exactly.
You had to recruit a team and hire 5 people just like that. When you're an independent recruiter and somebody gives you 5 jobs that you know you've filled because you're the only person recruiting for them, then I'm not being funny. That was a really worthwhile investment to me.
Hold on.
Wait
a second. Long-time listener Derek Zeller has 2 complaints only so far. Usually he's got 10 by now, okay? Number one.
You're getting better.
My headset. He said my headset is no good. I had trouble calling in the show.
Yeah, you're horrible right now.
You sound like crap, dude.
I'm gonna go off and call back in.
Derek.
Thanks for not telling me, everybody. Secondly, he said there's nothing good happening on this show. The only thing is that he gets to hear Kathy talk. So, Steve Ward, what can you say to a loser like Derek Zeller or a negative guy who, he never happy with anything, okay? But imagine Derek is out there and you want to please him. Now, so before I go, I'm going to hang up and call back in on my phone. But Allison Cruz is apparently on the line, longtime listener, never caller. I've never talked to her. Allison Cruz, are you on the phone?
I am. Hi, Animal.
Hello, Allison.
Nice to have you here.
Hi,
nice
Steve.
to have you. Okay, do you want to talk to him? Do you have a question for him while I'm gone?
Sure. I'll take over.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jerry. Jerry, you monitor her, okay?
All right.
Jerry,
I don't have any buttons, but...
No.
Jerry, you can monitor her without buttons. You know that.
That's true.
Just holler real loud, and then I'll shut up, Jerry. That's all you need
to do. That's not my style.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead,
right.
Al.
You're nice now.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I have a question for you, Steve, and I asked you on Twitter, and I'm going to ask you live. Why don't you have your name as your Twitter handle?
Because my name is Steve Ward. So, no, to be fair, it was when I first got into this thing, I was kind of advised at the time by the person to kind of give myself a hook that brings me towards the brand.
You did something illegal and didn't want to be found. Admit
Yeah,
it.
so my business was Cloud9. It's a nice name. It's a positive kind of thing, and I was advised go with the Cloud9 thing because that is your business. It's your and it's kind of strange. I spent doing all this sort of stuff I've been talking about, where I spend a lot of time out and about. People do that thing, and I'm sure you've had it as well, that little thing where people look at you as if they remember you through a little square box. And when they see you in live events and things like that, and they're kind of go, I recognize you. I know you from somewhere. And if I say I was Steve Ward, they kind of scratch their head. But if you say you're Cloud9, they remember who you are. It was just kind of strange. Cloud9 kind of worked. It just it always has. I kind of don't need it. I'm not Cloud9 anymore. But it's kind of stuck. So I know it just worked. It helps the brand as well as the individual, and that helps for Cloud9. So.
And that's what everybody was saying when Twitter first started getting the traction was, you better brand yourself and you make it your company name and all that crap, and pretty soon you're stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, I think there's still. I don't mind. I don't think there's an issue about the whole business of it related to the brand because the brand was positive. We had a good positive reputation, so it worked kind of well. And it was my brand. It was my company, and so that association worked. I just didn't put a logo on the front of it. I stuck my name on the front of it because it was still me. I was Cloud9 Rec, and I've continued to become that wherever I go, whatever you can look at my LinkedIn profile, the /Cloud9 Rec. It's just how I got kind of known. I think I'll take it because I think it worked for me.
Right.
I think if I was just another Steve Ward,
are there a lot of Steve Wards over there?
Well, I couldn't get the handle Steve Ward anyway, and then you start going, right, what am I going to be? Steve Ward 488.
Yeah.
I'm going Cloud9 Rec all the way, and like I say, it aligns the individual and the brand.
But you're not even with that company anymore, okay?
No. So I'm work for myself now. Work for other people. So,
yeah. Okay. You say in your article that you would not be a recruiter at Google. Why not?
Because I don't see working for somebody like Google as a recruiter being a particularly fun job. What's the fun in working for a company where you have a gazillion emails going, all those pizza delivery guys you talk about, pizza delivery guys going, I want to work for Google because you're Google. Basically I become an administrator, and I don't want to be an administrator. I want to do interesting stuff. I want to find interesting.
Well, what do you mean? How come they're only administrators at a big company? Why? You're saying that recruiters at big corporations are not really in a recruiting role. They're not the best.
I'm saying
they're not the best, right? They're just relying on their company name to bring people in. They don't have to do anything, right?
No,
they just sort resumes that come in. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Partly yes, but partly no. We know that there are awesome recruiters for major organizations. We know that. Let's not be ridiculous. But the point is, to me, recruitment is a fun thing. I have to get up in the morning and go, I love what I do each day. I'm a positive guy, as you can tell. That's why I kind of like to smile at what Derek Zeller says. He's Mr. Negative guy. I'm Mr. Positive guy. I'm gonna bring the upside all the time. I want to wake up in the morning and look at what I'm going to do in the day and think this is going to be freaking awesome, basically. And that's what so that's why I do work for a company like Velocity Partners, who are
but hold on a second. You said that recruiters in the large corporations, just because of the structure and the name, they don't get to do recruiting. Now you're covering your ass by saying, "Oh, sure, we know there's great recruiters in there." What are the great recruiters doing? How come not everybody is a great recruiter in there? You can't play both sides of the street, okay?
Well, often the reality of life is there is both sides of the street. But the point...
I got another question about social media. Okay, I got a question about social media.
There's no creative...
You know what? No, listen to me.
There's insufficient creative license to go and be a recruiter for Google. Let's be fair about it. I don't want to work for a company where there's everybody on the sun wants to come and work for them. I want to sell a company. I want to work for a company whereby the excitement of working for that organization because of the stuff it does inspires certain people whose heart it absolutely grabs and says, yeah, I want to work for that company for that very, very reason. I don't want to work for a company who are just because they're Google or because they're Apple or whatever. It just doesn't float my boat. That's not to say you don't have good recruiters there. I just think in those enormous teams,
you're losing the audience, Animal.
Am I losing the audience?
Yeah,
okay, well I tried to cut him off, but he's on a roll here. Okay.
He's a nice guy. I mean all that, but I just we're not getting the content here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Kathy, I can barely hear you. But here's one thing. I got a few things.
Can't hear Kathy.
Yeah, he says that the quality of client you get from social interaction, not at a convention, not at a trade show. I don't know where he brought that in. The quality of client you get from social media interaction is a higher quality of client than you get from sales calls, right? And the idea is that you make yourself be so attractive on social media that they are choosing you. If you're cold calling, you're saying, please use me, I promise you the moon. And then you're going to fail because you've already put yourself out there so much. You've established a stretch goal that is hard to reach. Whereas if they call you, it's their responsibility. You can make all kinds of mistakes. That's his theory. Does that sound realistic to anybody before I let him defend it?
It's not realistic. However, there's a tremendous amount of effort that has to go into that front part, marketing. That marketing part that he's talking about.
Jerry wanted to say something.
No, I just said that's what you said was accurate. I mean,
unrealistic. Allison Cruz, Sister Allison, are you on?
Yeah, I think, like Maureen said, it takes a lot of effort.
I guess I'm not sure what you said. What were you saying? What did I disagree with or agree with?
I'm saying, okay, I'll put it over to Steve, but first I have to do another ad. If everybody lets me do it, it'll only take 15 seconds or 10, okay? And now a word from our sponsor, PC Recruiter. Everybody is claiming that text and social media are the hot new forms of communication, but everybody knows that email is still number one. And PC Recruiter handles email the way you want it handled. It works with your mobile phone accounts and always shows you your connected, your sent, and received email for every candidate and hiring authority. PCRecruiter.com. Check it out. They sponsor the Recruiting Animals show. Now, I got to tell you, I feel bad that you guys let me talk on that bad connection. I had to depend on that party poop, Derek Zeller. to tell me something was going wrong. And you know what?
You weren't watching your Twitter stream.
Well, you're supposed to be watching it, Maureen.
Nobody can get a word in edgewise.
I don't have to
Listen
scream.
to you. Nobody can get a word in edgewise.
That's not true.
Anymore.
I keep saying. I said, does anybody agree with this guy? Dead silence.
No.
Watching the Twitter stream just reminds me of how absurd Twitter actually is. It's painful. God.
Allison and I were talking about the sound early in the show.
Well, thanks for mentioning it here. You're on the line. Don't tell me, okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell me like a real person would. Okay, so he says you get better clients from social media. Nobody wants to comment on that, but at least I made it clear what this guy really thinks. He's, and the way you get those people, you think LinkedIn is now the key social media platform for business. Is that right, Steve Ward?
For a lot of branding, yeah, I do. I really, really do. I'm going against agreeing with a lot of people with that. But
are you
really,
posting cat pics on LinkedIn now, like everybody else?
What's that, Jerry?
Video.
Are you posting cat pics and vacation destinations and stuff?
No.
LinkedIn has been ruined.
I'll go back right to the start. Relevant
Can
conversations, relevant interactions with relevant people.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Oh, hold on a second. No, let me. I listened to this guy talk. He's not telling us the full story here. I have to say it myself. He says when you talk to people on social media, pretend you're in a pub. Don't be one-dimensional. Don't talk business. Don't sell. They want to talk about football. You talk about football.
Yeah.
They want to talk about cat pictures. You talk about cat pictures. Don't deny that that's what you believe and promote, Stephen Ward.
On LinkedIn is somebody. I think there are many ways, many channels we've got to treat slightly differently because of the different characteristics of them and all that kind of stuff. The point I'm making there is the fact that reality says is the people that we want to do business with are loving their life on Twitter and are happy in their picture world on Twitter, but it's a way that we can get in front of their eyes without shoving something down their ear hole. Then, and if that gets us that one step closer to being
so why'd you tell Jerry no?
Focus,
Jerry called you out on it, and you said, no, Jerry, I don't do that. Okay, sure you do.
Not on LinkedIn.
Sure you do.
No.
And not only this, listen to this,
but
everybody.
No
he says the phone is bad for building rapport because you've got to sell the whole time you're on the phone.
I've got to say something. Animal, please let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but maybe you can. I know you're a sick woman,
no,
but can you shout?
No.
Can you talk into the phone so we can hear you? It's a show.
At a hotel. I'm at a hotel, so that's probably why. Listen, I told this to Maureen. I talked to my 22, soon-to-be 23-year-old son. I said, what would you rather get, an email, a phone call, about a job interview, because he's going to be entering into that world. He would much rather have a phone call because he said he can present himself better,
There you go.
So, yeah, he said, they could misinterpret me. I would rather I don't want a text. I want a phone call.
Yeah, but he's talking about getting people to like you on a cold call. I think that's what Steve meant. Am I right, Steve?
Yeah,
that's what I talked to my son about.
Everything I ever do, everything I ever do and has ever done has led to a phone call. It's about how do you set that call up to be the best call it can be? How can you get the undivided attention of the person involved on a pre-planned, pre-agreed time where we can set everything else aside, we can park our emails, we can park all the other stuff, and we get undivided attention to talk about the role that we've got.
Leave a voicemail.
No.
Simple as that.
And we live in an environment where people just don't pick up their phone anymore. I mean, it's like
that's so very true, Steve.
What that quote you just said, I think it's admirable. But the reality is, people don't pick up their phones anymore.
Yep. They really don't. Not nearly like they did, decades ago.
That's true.
But what about voicemail? You don't have to pick up your phone. You can leave a nice, detailed, personal message on voicemail. Stephen Ward, are you against voicemail?
No.
You leave voicemail?
No, I would never leave. I would never spend my day leaving voicemails. I used to do that years ago.
My God.
It was draining.
Well, many take work.
Well, so does marketing and communications online. They both take work. And that's what we were saying, isn't it? And I think this is the point. I mean, look, there are more than one way to skin a cat. We choose the things that we're best at, right? So Maureen chooses phone sourcing because that is what you're strongest at. It's how you feel you're going to hit your people the best. It's a decision you make, and you live or die by it. You fail or succeed by those rules. I was always crap at the phone stuff. I was never as good at it.
So hold on a second. Oh, the truth is out. You were not good personally on the phone, so you've turned to social media as your means of compensation. This is a better channel for you personally, right?
Compensation is just another way of getting to the same end.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
You hit it on the
everything works.
The problem we have is when we're told that only one way, and this is where because I'm not telling you either one way or the right. The point is, we're all told that we have to choose this one way of going about it. We're going to recruitment organizations.
Okay. Yeah, when you say the phone is bad for building rapport, you're saying that way is wrong. You're saying clearly, and now when you're talking to us here, you're because when you told this guy on the other show, everything you said, everything that came out of your mouth, he said brilliant. But here, you're going to get called on it, so you're trying to play both sides of the screen. It's not going to work, Steve. We will catch you.
No.
And I'm not as
and we will measure you.
I'm telling you the way that but I do go back with the thing I haven't answered about, I haven't come back to about, is the thing about the choice of the quality of the person you're going to get from inbound, the quality of clients. I don't want to sell to somebody. I want somebody to choose me because they can. It's demonstrable, or whatever the word is, that you are the best at what you do, or you are credible and
how are you
fantastic
going
at
to
what you
sell
do.
that to
Because
someone?
somebody said, because the word of mouth took effect. Inbound business is way easier than trying to go fighting for it outbound, and the decision and the investment from the clients on the other side is greater. They invest in you. They know that you. They're going by your
reputation. Can I say something? Steve, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Bo.
I agree. Inbound is easier.
I love answering the phone. I love it.
But right, you love it. You love
God,
it.
I'm good at it.
Right. But Jerry, you've been in business how many years? 30.
That's true.
And
he's
how
great at
many?
what he does.
Yeah, and how many?
But
years
yeah, still people aren't calling me that often. I mean, let's be real.
Okay, but
enough.
So, Steve, to your point, how many years do you have to invest effort to get yourself to a point where people are calling you? Can you answer that question? How much effort do you have to put out in front of that where your telephone's ringing? With people calling you.
I have examples of 2 days, and I have examples of 4 years. Isn't that sales? Doesn't it take 4 years to knock somebody down sometimes on sales calls?
Yeah.
It does.
4 years?
I mean,
Yeah. That might be the average.
The point, though, this is where I'm saying it's like it's just another. The point I'm saying is, and this is this is how I used to run my recruitment team back in the day, was all the guys we kept trying. And then I look at the database. They're trying to phone all day. And 90% of the database was a bunch of answer machine messages or rep receptions or nothing happened. So my objective of those guys, how do you find the other 90% that we're not touching, that we're not attracting, that we want to do business with? We've got to find other ways of getting hold of these people.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not arguing what you're saying is true because I've experienced it. I've spent a lot of time on social media. And many people here know that, and many people here listening to this have done the same, and they've experienced what you're talking about. But can you give the audience an example in the amount of time and effort that is needed to get your phone ringing?
How would that be an answerable question?
He already said 2 days or 4 years.
It's hard to answer.
There's no answer for that. Don't be ridiculous.
It's hard to answer, but there's no magic bullet to it.
There's no magic bullet either.
Then why are you asking him for it?
Sales calls, social media.
You're asking him to give you a definite timeline.
No, I'm not asking for a definite timeline, but
it's a timeline.
You are.
Jerry,
she's
right. I'm going to agree with Maureen because here's a guy who's a consultant as well. He said to the other guy on the other show, he said, you know what? Lots of agency recruiters have gone on Twitter and they've decided it's not for them. People like Jerry, okay? It's not for them. It doesn't work. And he said that's because they don't know how to work it. He said there's business there. And you know what?
And let me say something. If I wanted to focus on squeezing something out of that avenue, I sure would, and I could, and it is there for you to do.
No doubt. We agree.
No,
we agree.
said squeezing
just,
now.
That's not
this is like when he says, if I go to church, I'll find something, but not much, okay? Now, we're talking, Maureen's talking about how do you bring in good business on a regular basis when your focus is on social media recruiting, building your brand on social media.
If you're recruiting social media people, that'd be a breeze.
He said that's what he does. That's what he does, Jerry, and he says it's not a breeze.
Of course that's going to work.
No, Jerry, it's not a breeze, actually.
I'm going to tell you something. We have a guy starting on a job that we recruited. He starts Monday. He's a consultant for our company, working at our customer. The guy does not have – he's just now buying a smartphone because he's going to be working out of town.
We believe that.
He had to fax us his paperwork at the Kinko's. I guess they still do that there.
Listen to this, people.
So, I mean, there's a variety of people that you're not going to get on social. There's a variety of people that you will only find on social, and why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So I'm tired of the yes or no, in or out, works, doesn't work.
No, Jerry.
Crap.
He's telling
everything
people
works. Not everything
Jerry.
works for everybody.
Right.
No, everything works, Michael Cox, but not everything works well. That's Maureen's point.
Win, Jerry.
I think I won, Maureen. I won
everything works well, but not everything works well for everyone.
1, Maureen 0. Wow.
Okay. He went on that show, and he said Twitter is good for recruiters, and he said the people who think it isn't, it's because they don't know how to use it. They're selling. They don't know how to banter. I got to tell you.
They're not even selling. They're just puking crap.
Well,
that's not even selling. That's just loud blabbermouth bullshit.
I like my husband. Oh my God.
Also, Steve Ward seems to
think
that recruiters are hired for their charisma.
Animal.
You don't have to have charisma to be a recruiter. But here's Steve. I got an important question for you before we're out of time. We're almost out of time.
It sounded like he was slipping into an ad, didn't it?
I'm going to, but not this second. Okay.
God, I'm so confused now.
Look. He also says that if you're going to be putting yourself out there
on a minute. I want to ask something.
No. You let me finish, Maureen. Don't make me mute you. Don't make me block
you. What he did. He got the train off the tracks. And away from the subject, and the question didn't get answered.
No, let me reiterate your question and your incredible demand.
No, you don't have to.
How long does it take to generate a phone call in? Yeah, that was your question.
That's a good question. And that wasn't
looking
her question.
For an exact number.
That wasn't her question. She asked a good question. She asked a real business question. She asked a real business question. Now let me ask a question now before I have to mute everybody to get it out there. Okay, you said that before you can put yourself out there on LinkedIn or mooch your way into somebody else's group conversation, you have to know the industry so well that you can speak intelligently about it. So let's say you're recruiting semiconductor engineers. You know very well that you don't have to be a semiconductor engineer to do that. We had Johnny Campbell on this show, the famous Johnny Campbell. He told us he was recruiting financial people, and all he knew were about 30 buzzwords. He had them pasted on the wall. He didn't know anything about accounting. So how could a social talent guy, the guy teaches people about social recruiting, how could he actually do what you're saying if he's not an expert in accounting?
It depends whether you're recruiting a job to fill a job or whether you're doing it to build a brand and build a presence. We went for the market knowledge thing because I still want to be in it 4, 5, 6, 7 years later like I was and be part of it and grow it. It wasn't about whether we recruit one job or what are the things we need to recruit a single job. We're building a business. We're building a consistent business. So it was my choice. It's my choice. You've got to be right at the heart of everything that goes on. That's what gets you inbound business. And I'm going back to the inbound business thing again. It's like if you know your shit, if you go out there, so excuse my language, if you know your stuff and you go out there and you're part of it and you get it and you listen to it and you learn it and you enjoy it, you're involved in it, then every single conversation, whether it's in those environments They matter. They get you business. They get
Okay, so let's say you studied political science at school. You're an arts-oriented person. You're recruiting semiconductor engineers. How much can you actually learn about it to have intelligent conversations that semiconductor engineers are going to want to read about? Articles that you post that semiconductor engineers, guys with PhDs and masters of computer science or whatever, that they're going to want to read your stuff.
Dude, you don't write this stuff. You just retweet it, man.
Not all, yeah.
You just repost all this crap.
The answer isn't blogging all the time, right? I mean, blogging is a thing. It's a personal choice to blog, not blog, and all that kind of stuff. That is not the answer to everything. The answer to everything is being smart enough and brave enough to have the conversations in the right places with the right people. That's the right question.
No. That's a blather statement. Don't give us that kind of nonsense. That's a nothing statement. It means nothing. You're above that, Steve. You're above that.
Hey, Steve, are you related to Ken?
Huh?
Ken Ward?
No, not related to Ken Ward. No.
Do you know
him? Well, but not related.
I got to do my third ad. It'll take 10 seconds if somebody lets me. Third ad. Okay? Hey, everybody. PC Recruiter handles email marketing.
He needs one of those big, like, horns that just go,
You know, Jerry? I got a button that's going to block you so I can actually do this. You know what? I got to tell you something. Last week, you guys talked so much through my ads, I can't bill them for it. I can't bill them for that.
From what I understand, it doesn't matter if you bill them for it or not.
Everybody's going to benefit. When I finally start getting checks, we'll all have coffee and stuff on the sponsor's nickel, okay? So if you shut up, you might get a free trip to Starbucks.
I was just saying that you could have like a whistle or a horn that tells us.
Is he refusing to pay because we talk too much?
I don't know. I didn't say he's refusing to pay. Maybe I have to talk to you.
Well, you're sort of inferring that.
No, I didn't say that. Okay?
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
I know.
What's the word
for lie?
That's unacceptable.
How about if I use that, or?
No, just use like a work horn or something, like one of those.
Okay, I'm going to get a horn sound, but let me do
that one that's
now.
in the Flintstones, and then he yells yabba dabba doo, and they all read
and he's sliding down the dinosaur tail.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask Steve just a few more questions, so let me get this ad out, okay?
Man, I thought
hey,
this
everybody,
was Ken Ward this whole time.
PC Recruiter handles email marketing, so you can build lists, and send hundreds or thousands of emails and manage the resulting activity, like opt-in or opt-out requests. You can do that with ease, and that includes Canadian opt-in rules. If you use Microsoft Outlook, PC Recruiter appears directly in your Outlook screen. No more switching between applications 100 times a day. No ATS or recruiting software has more or better choices for email, text messaging, and social media than PC Recruiter. If you want to check it out, go to PCRecruiter.com. PCRecruiter.com. Thank you. Okay, final questions for Steve. Anybody want to get it in there?
Mike A. Stringer wants to get on. He has a question.
Mike A. Stringer, if he promises never to talk about Stephen Nahas, and he promises not to make any anti-gay remarks or any crazy stuff like that.
Yes, he promises.
Yeah, you're promising for him, okay?
Well,
I've asked him many times.
If you don't let him
he always says he won't. Look, that's show business. Talk about it in Jerry's after show. Stephen Ward.
Let A. Stringer on 8:57. Just let him on, man. He'd be ready to cut him off.
You know, Jerry, I'm going to have to block you if you don't be quiet, okay? Stephen Ward. Stephen Ward.
No?
Stephen Ward, are you still there?
I'm still here.
What's your final word? And don't make it something fluffy like you just did a minute ago. I don't want to yell at you at the end of the show.
What's my final word?
Okay, what's your website? If someone wants to look at your company, if they want to find you on Twitter, Cloud9Rec. Cloud9Rec with a crappy little black picture that I could do better for you. In fact, I did. You're some kind of runner, right?
Now and again, not regularly.
Yeah,
you found
a mud runner.
Pics.
You're a mud runner. You run with beautiful girls. I've seen your pictures on Facebook. Okay? In some kind of wetsuit and mud on his face. Maybe it's just posed. You didn't really do it. Okay, but if they want to go to your company, do you have a website?
Well, yeah, I have a personal website which is called therecruitmentmisfit.com.
therecruitmentmisfit.com, but your company site is actually just a Facebook page. Am I right about that?
Yeah, well, for Cloud9 or just for Steve Ward? Yeah, for Steve, because I'm just me now.
You're just you now. Okay, you know what? Don't you think the guy would have a URL that was real easy to remember that said he was a social recruiting guy or something? What's wrong with you? I can teach you something, okay?
I'm ever present on social media channels.
Yeah,
people
no,
know,
I
people
appreciate
know where to
you
get
being.
me in these
I
places.
appreciate you being on my Facebook group. Hey, last thing. There's a girl on my Facebook group, okay, and she recruits recruiters. She's always posting ads for recruiters. I told her, I don't mind you posting ads here, but maybe you can contribute sometime too, not just take. Am I a bad guy? Because now I'm an ogre. People are saying, why would you listen to him? She said, he's the administrator. I have to watch myself. I have to be cautious. Am I a bad guy for doing that? She's take, not give.
Indeed.
You called me a sick woman, so right now you're a bad guy.
You are sick, Kathy. You're getting better, thank goodness. Hallelujah!
No, I'm
She's getting better. Jerry.
I'm allowed to talk now?
Yeah, is there an after show?
If you let Mike A. Stringer on, open him up. Let's hash it out with him. Come on.
No.
Yes.
Okay, not this time. Why? He can hash it out with me after. Stephen Ward, you've been a great guest. Steve,
open him up and let me do my.
We're going to Jerry's show. You got to get off, but I'm going to let Jerry have a hot.
Thanks, Steve.
His show. Okay,
Thanks,
Steve.
You did
Stephen
good,
Ward?
Steve.
Great show.
Great show.
I thought Animal already sorted this out with A. Stringer.
You know what? On Twitter, he's saying I should apologize to him for 15 minutes. He still is not going to repent, okay? I
Dude,
just asked him
open
to
up his line.
Look, you're doing exactly what you're accusing Mike of doing.
And actually, he's winning right now. He's beating you.
On the show, by the way.
Beat him at his own game. Let him on. Let him prove to you that you're right. Be ready to cut him off, but I don't think he will.
They're right.
Yeah.
No, Maureen, you're wrong, because here's what will happen. Nahaz will hear about it. He'll call Blog Talk Radio and get me kicked off. And A. Stringer won't give a hoot.
A. Stringer hasn't brought up Nahaz. He hasn't said a thing about gay people.
He will.
No, he won't.
You're almost rooting for it to happen.
You know what? I'm out of this conversation. You
Just
guys
let
have
him
the
on.
after show.
Let him on.
Go
If he
ahead.
gets
Do your after
crazy.
show. You can rant about it yourself. Go ahead.
Let him on.
Let him on.
The after show.
Nope.
Oh my
so
God.
Animal says, go ahead. It's your after
Is
show. We say, let him on.
paying your rent or something?
Let's take a vote. I vote yay.
Yeah,
Yay.
me too.
Come on, let him on.
Let him on.
Oh, he's being such a jerk right now.
Animal.
He's being stubborn.
The thing is, I'm going to talk about that incident. Animal acts as if the FCC or whoever it is in Canada is listening to him, ready to pounce. It was nothing happened, and I told A. Stringer the whole time, "Hey, that's not cool. Knock it off." He was just saying that somebody was a spammer, and he was kind of pretty derogatory the whole time, and that was the end of it. Animal acts as if he almost lost some license that he spent 50 years getting or something. About lost his house over the whole deal. It was ridiculous. Animal's reaction was ridiculous.
And I've talked to Mike several times.
Yeah.
And he has not mentioned that other person's name to me in probably a year. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Ages, Kathy. Ages.
I know.
I say let him on.
There's a story here I don't know about. You have more information than I do, Jerry. So.
No way.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Is there
Kathy's
something
been
with names?
unconscious for the last year and says I didn't hear anything
Yeah,
about
we'll
the guy
talk about it
No wonder.
offline. But
okay?
Oh, God. Are you talking? Wait. Did you just call me unconscious for a year?
3 months. I'm sorry.
No, he was talking about Maureen. Kathy, please don't.
No, he was talking about.
No, he was talking about Maureen because Maureen said that she didn't know what we were talking about.
Okay,
I
you
don't
know what?
know what you're talking about.
Like, I'll tell my story. I'll do it very briefly. Maureen, the guy couldn't leave this guy, Stephen Nahez, alone. He kept attacking him on the show. And so then I told him, don't do it anymore, or I won't let you on. So then he goes on to Jerry's after show, and Jerry says, you don't have to listen to Animal. Do whatever you want.
No, I didn't.
And absolutely.
No,
I got it on
did
record.
not.
And so the guy
the
went
whole
to town.
time said, don't do that. That's not cool.
The guy went
Play
to
the
town
tape.
on it, and then Nahez called Blog Talk Radio to complain about me, and they said, if you have a problem, call us back, okay? And then I said, Mike A. Stringer, I said, you can come on the show as long as you promise never to do that again. He refuses to promise, okay?
You know what? You're being intimidated by Stephen Nahez. Is what?
No, this idiot friend of yours wants to be a jerk. Why should I let him do it at my expense? He's not going to lose anything. Afterwards, he'll say, I got a Recruiting Animal show kicked off the air. Ha, ha, ha.
No,
he wouldn't
yes,
do
yes,
that.
yes. Don't tell me this nonsense.
He wouldn't do that.
Yes, he would. He's a
You know
jerk.
something?
he would.
Open up
jerk.
857 and let's see who's right, me or you.
Yeah, okay.
Open it up.
Open it up.
Open it up.
You know what? I
Do
think
it.
it's the end of your show, okay?
No, it's not.
You're not talking about anything. It's not a real
I'm
show.
trying to
You're
get
not
my
voting
couch
on
lined up.
You're not
Trying to
voting
line
on
up
the
the
show.
couch. Animal.
Goodbye, Jer. Nice talking to you.
Oh my God. Yes.